him, he would have something to say. So similarly, that brings us into our topic of today, which is many people, especially in India, think that Narayan, Lord Narayan, is the supreme origin of all incarnations, and that Krishna is one of the avatars. So I hope I'm reading the right place. This is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 2. So we'll begin here. Thus one may understand the glories of the Lord through different modes of worship, as the example of the sun illustrates. I wonder if we missed the example of the sun. Which reminds me, the reason Krishna created every living entity is to come to him. So there are different scriptures for different kinds of people to gradually bring them. Even meat eaters, there are scriptures for those in the mode of ignorance that if you're insisting on eating meat, then do it this way. Once a month, offer a goat and whisper in his ear, and Vishnu has to be there too, at the sacrifice, and whisper in his ear, now I am eating you. In the future, you will come back and eat me. It's called Mangsi Dadasi. Mangsa Dadasi. Whoever I'm eating will eat me. So they do that, and finally it hits them. What am I doing? And then gradually they come out of it. So there are different scriptures for different modes of nature. And so Narayan and Krishna are the same personality of Godhead. But although they are identical, their bodily features are different. The personality of Krishna has two hands. They are the same in tattva, but not in ras. How many rasas are there in Lord Narayan's Leela? Like one. Everyone is das. Even Lakshmi is das. You don't find them dancing or embracing together. She's dasi. By ras, Krishna is superior, the origin, and by tattva they're the same, because it's like one candle lights many other candles. They have the same candle potency, but one is the origin. That's one way to say it, because they don't have the same potency. Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev give the example of the moon. How many moons are there? One moon. It appears like there's how many moons? 14 or 15 moons. The half moon, the quarter moon, the full moon, the no moon. And those are different incarnations. They have different powers. There are plenary portions and portionary plenary portions of the Lord. The personality of Lord Narayan has 4 hands with conch, wheel, mace, and lotus. Narayan is identical to Krishna. They are in fact the same person, manifested differently, like a court judge who is differently situated in his office and at home. Krishna is the home one. Then he goes to the office, and he changes his shape. What is it? Shape changes? What is it? He shape shifts. And he gives, Srila Gurudev explained that he gives a portion of his name and a portion of his qualities, different amounts of portions, to his different incarnations. Like, let's take Ananta Shesh, who supports all the universes, planets on his head. But Krishna is also called Ananta. That's one of his names. So he gives a portion of his name, a portion of his qualities to his various devotees. So that's what Prabhupada is saying here. Now there's a quote from Bhagavatam, Lord Brahma's prayers. O Lord of Lords, this is after Lord Brahma stole the calves and the cowherd boys. And now he's apologizing. O Lord of Lords, you are the seer of all creation. You are indeed everyone's dearest life. Are you not therefore my father Narayan? Narayan refers to one whose abode is in the water, born from Nara. In other words, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And that Narayan is your plenary portion. So here's an evidence from an authority, from Brahma. All your plenary portions are transcendental. They are absolute and are not creations of Brahma. So what's this evidence? Where is it quoted? Srimad Bhagavatam, when Brahma is apologizing for having stolen the calves and cowherd boys. 10, 14, 14. 14, 14, 10. 10, 14, 14. This was, Prabhupada writes in the purport, could you make something better out of this thing? So after Krishna defeated Brahma in showing him his display of mystic power, that's it, his display of mystic power. And then it's described there in the purport that Brahma's mystic power was compared like that of a firefly. You've seen them. And Krishna like the sun. Because Krishna's mystic power, okay, you want to steal my calves and cowherd boys? Well, watch this. And he became all of them, same voice, same bugle and ornaments. Right. After Brahma had offended Krishna by stealing his playmates and cows, he begged the Lord's pardon for his offensive act and prayed for his mercy. I took birth from the lotus that grew from your navel. Thus you are both my father and mother, and I am your son. He's already established that Lord Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Lord Narayan, is Krishna's what? Plenary portion. And all your plenary portions are transcendental. Parents never take their kids' offenses seriously. So please don't take mine seriously. So what did Krishna say back? Oh, Brahma, your father is Narayan. I'm just a cowherd boy. How can you be my son? And then Brahma said, are you not Narayan? You are certainly Narayan. Please listen as I state the proofs. Then he's saying, this is all in the Bhagavatam. All of the living beings within the material world and spiritual worlds are ultimately born of you, and you are the supersoul in all of them. So that's another aspect of according to one's karma, sukritis, sanskars. Some people understand Krishna as a supersoul, some as one of the demigods, some as impersonal Brahman. So there's a verse that I'm kind of looking for where Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, here's the example of the sun. So much in here. Gotta read it. It's amazing. Which is Vedanta Tat Tattva Vedas Tattvam. I'm not going to find it. Yaj Jnanam Avyayam. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavan Iti Shabhyate. In other words, those who are seers of the truth understand the Supreme Absolute as Brahman, impersonal, absolute, super soul. Wow, look at this, Prabhupada's original. Yeah. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call the non-dual substance, that means one without a second, Advaya Gyan, the one without a second, absolute truth, who is known as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. I think I've given, thanks, Prabhupada's example of the mountain. You know, when you're driving and there's a mountain way in the distance. Haribol Sumuki. Hi. Can you stand up? So when you see a mountain from far away, it looks like a cloud. When you get closer, it looks like a green lump. When you come right on it, what is it? Butterflies, trees, different kinds of grasses, insects, and things like that. So you get more information the closer you get. So some people aren't close from their past lives. Since you are the witness of all deeds, Brahma is saying, you know the essence of everything. All the worlds exist because you oversee them. None can live, move, or have their being without your supervision. So you can know that Krishna's always looking at you, supervising. You oversee the wanderings of all living beings. For this reason also, you are the primeval Lord Narayan. Krishna said, Brahma, I can't understand what you're saying. Lord Narayan is he who sits in the hearts of all beings and lies down in the waters of the Karana ocean as Mahavishnu. Brahma replied, what I have said is true. The same Lord Narayan who lives on the waters and in the hearts of all living entities is but a plenary portion of you. You know, it's interesting just to show how people are in different places at different times. Something that came to me just as a side note just now is that my godbrother, he was in the ISKCON temple, and our devotees were distributing books just outside the temple, and he kicked them out because it was ISKCON property. Later on, things changed for him, and he became a Shiksha disciple of Gurudev and took sannyas from him. So people change. Yeah, like Brahma changed, didn't he? And I was going to give an example of, I forget why. Oh well, there are so many people in the scriptures who you see have changed. Their karma changes by association or whatever. So these three Vishnus, Brahma is saying, Karanadakshay Vishnu, Garbhadakshay Vishnu, Kiradakshay Vishnu, forms of Narayan, all create in cooperation with the material energy, right? Material energy, he glances over the material energy, and thus the unmanifest material nature turns into the cosmic manifestation. In this way, they have some connection with Maya. He said they're attached to Maya, but it means there's some connection. These three Vishnus lying in the water are the super soul of everything. The super soul of all the universes is known as the first Purusha. That means Mahavishnu. Garbhadakshay Vishnu is the super soul of the aggregate of all living entities. You're not alone. And Kiradakshay Vishnu is the super soul in every living entity's heart. So Kiradakshay Vishnu is what? Garbhadakshay Vishnu is what? Yeah, but what is he? He is the super soul of the aggregate, sum total of all living entities. And Kiradakshai Vishnu is what? He's the super soul of all the universes. Garbhodakshai Vishnu is in one universe, each universe. Well, together that makes all universes. Superficially, we see that these Purushas have a relationship with Maya, but above them, in the fourth dimension, is Krishna. This is also a quote from Lord Brahma, who has no contact with material nature. In the material world, the Lord is... Oh, I know, I was the one who changed. Because way back in the 70s, when I was reading the Chaitanya Charitamrita, before I think most of you were born, I was reading the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and I came to this second chapter. And I just whizzed right through it. At least I knew it was there. That's why 70s, 80s, 90s, 50 years later, I could remember where it was, but that's about all I could remember. Because I thought it's too technical, too boring. Let me go to something more interesting. And now it's interesting. So he's going on how Krishna is essentially the fourth dimension. Although these three features of the Lord deal directly with material energy, none of them are touched by it. They are beyond illusion. This is the opulence of the Lord. Although situated in the material nature, he's never affected by the modes. And similarly, those who are surrendered to him and are fixed in their intelligence, they're also not, you want to not be influenced by the modes of nature. Okay, do you? Okay. What do you do about it? Fix your intelligence and surrender to the Lord. Okay. You are the ultimate shelter of these three plenary portions. Thus, there's not the slightest doubt that you are the primeval Lord, Narayan. Just like Santi and I were learning from the 15th chapter of the Gita, Krishna becomes the moon and thus supplies the air of life to all the juice of life to all, thank you, the juice of life to all vegetables. It doesn't mean that Krishna loses his Krishnaness and becomes the moon. And when he says, I am the super soul, it doesn't mean, because in the verse it says, Soma Bhutva, I become the moon. But then what does it mean? We need the pure devotee's purport. It means the moon comes out of him, out of his body, and becomes the moon. Because everything is in him. The source of these three features, there's another Narayan who's in the spiritual world, who's the Lord of all the Vaikuntha planets, right? So he's in the spiritual world, and he is your Vilas expansion. So even the Narayan that's there, he's also your expansion. So then Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes, therefore, according to the authority of Brahma, the Narayana, who is the predominating deity in the transcendental world in innumerable Vaikuntha planets, is but the last feature of Krishna. This has now been, Krishnadas Kaviraj is saying, this has now been conclusively proved. The truth indicated in this verse, text 30, of the Bhagavatam is the essence of the Bhagavatam. This conclusion, through synonyms, applies everywhere. Not knowing that Brahman, Paramama, and Bhagavan are all features of Krishna, like for example the impersonal Brahma Jyoti is the rays of light coming from his toenails. Full scholars speculate in various ways, because that's their Socrates, Discrates, karma, and so on. They can't even help themselves. Even, people that are doing all the wars in the various countries and vaccinations and whatever they do, what do you call that? Genocide? They can't even help themselves. Why? Because they're being controlled by the modes of nature. The living entity, conditioned by the modes of nature, thinks that he's the only doer, thinks that he's the doer of activities which are actually performed by material nature. So it's the material nature that's giving punishment to the living entities who turned against Krishna. And these foolish scholars, even Krishna says that in Gita, fools deride me when I take a human form. They do not know my transcendental nature, nor my supreme dominion over all that be. So similarly, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying here, are you understanding? Okay. It's better than nothing. So because Narayana has 4 hands and Krishna just looks like a person, a man, they say that Narayana is the original God, where Krishna is but an incarnation. Krishna is the avatari. Narayan is the avatara, which means the expansion. In this way, their arguments appear in various forms, but the poetry of the Bhagavatam expertly refutes them all. Then again, it's quoting that verse about learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth. What? Call the No, I'm asking for the English. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance by 3 names: Brahman, Paramatma. Good. Me too. My dear brothers, kindly listen to this explanation of this verse and consider its meaning. The verse about, can you all learn that by tomorrow? Tomorrow. I know Sumukhi can. It begins Vedanti tat tas vividas tat mam. So Krishna himself is the undivided absolute truth, the ultimate reality. He manifests himself in 3 features. And what verse is this? 1, 2, 11. Bhagavatam 1, 2, 11. 1, 2, 1, 1. 2 ones at the end. 1, 2, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1. 1, 1, 1. Going back to this 1, 1, 2, 1. Going forward 1, 2, 1, 1. What was the other verse? 10, 10, 14, 14. And what is that verse? What? Brahma is speaking. Can you speak a little louder? Can Hadita speak a little louder? Because Brahma was speaking so loud that now 5,000 years later we're reading about it.
In Srimad Bhagavatam 10, 14, 14, Lord Brahma was saying how the Supreme Narayan, he's seeing that Sri Krishna is the Supreme Narayan.
Are you not my father Narayan?
Are you not?
Narayan refers to one whose abode is in the water, from Nara, Garbhadakshay Vishnu. And that Narayan is your plenary portion. All your plenary portions are transcendental. They're absolute and not creations of Maya. So now we're coming to an end. I mean, there's unlimited, but today we're coming to an end. So the import of this verse has stopped you from arguing. Now listen to another verse of the Bhagavatam. This is a very important verse, which I hope you'll learn too. Ete Jangshakala Pungsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indriyari Vyakulam Lokam Mridayanti Juge Juge. All these incarnations of Godhead, she's getting, thanks, are either plenary portions or parts of the plenary portions of the Purusha avatars, those three that we just mentioned. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In every age, he comes to protect the world through his different features when the world is disturbed by the enemies of Indra. Right, we're going to have to stop here because time is up. Thank you, Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Gaur Premanandi. Wow, we're going to get into some exciting verses next time class comes. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, an opponent may say, this is your interpretation. Actually, the Supreme Lord is Narayan. Okay, let's see what happens. We're in suspense now. Okay, see, Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srimad Bhagavatam work hand in hand. Can somebody put this back? Because if you borrow it, return it. Okay, thank you. Panchakopatribhyascha kripasindubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo. Okay, we ended up having a very evidential class with Santi.